Executive Director of Global Peace and Life Rescue Initiative, Melvin Ejeh, joins us live via Skype from Jos for discussion on the security situation in Plateau State. Good to have you join us.
Good morning, Nigerian. Good morning. You see?
All right, so in 2019, the Plateau State Governor, Simon Lalong, did state that there was relative peace in Plateau State, despite the many security challenges in other parts of the country. But that seems to have changed drastically. What's your assessment of why the spate of attacks in Plateau State is on the rise?
First of all, let me start by condoning with the family that lost their lives in this unfortunate, senseless, and barbaric attack in Jebu Miango, another part of Basa local government. This attack is one too many and should be condemned by all. My assessment is simple, that there is no lack of sincere commitment on the part of government, and I stand to be corrected. You see, you can't have the same issues, continue treating them the same way, and instead to get the same result. Government needs to change approach, especially the state government. It's high time we begin to speak out and tell people the truth. We are here on the plateau. The governor came at the first day, he meant peace and wanted to achieve this peace. But somehow, some people have frustrated him, and to the best of my knowledge, the governor is helpless. And I think the governor needs to rise up and do those things that he's supposed to do. You can't have your people being killed on a daily basis. You are not speaking out. You are not doing what you ought to do. You are not helping matters. So to me, the buck stop on the government agencies. It's quite unfortunate that some people have devised a means of criticizing security agencies. Let me assure you that if Operation Safe Haven, led by Major General I.S. Ali, had not swung into action promptly, the whole of us would have been brought down because of the magnitude of attack that these marauders came with. It's quite unfortunate. The security agencies are helpless. They don't have the sufficient strength, they don't have the sufficient equipment, and the areas are poorly, the communication there is poor. So even if you have attack going on in one community, the soldiers can't even call for reinforcement. So they have a lot of issues that the government need to address.
Okay, so and that's where I want to come in, because you just said that the security operatives are overwhelmed, if I'm going to rephrase that, what you said, because they don't have the right equipment and also the terrain where this happened. So you were saying that the governor needs to do more. So if the people charged with the responsibility for security are also being overwhelmed, where do you think that the governor can come in that regard?
Let me tell you where the governor can come in that regard, is to support them, because you don't leave security for the federal government alone. The governor needs to come in and begin to provide those gadgets. Is it the federal government's responsibility to provide surveillance cameras in this locality? The answer is no. What's up from government, from the state government, to buy communication equipment beside mobile phones? Because I have been to the village. I went there yesterday. Once you pass through the army barracks, as soon as you move into the town, every network ceases from there. So even if the soldiers are in one terrain, and this terrain is so massive, it's not a terrain of 10, 20 kilometers. It's a vast land with several hills around. So the soldiers are actually helpless. So what stops the government from planting communication gadgets, sensitive communication gadgets in our communities? Is that not his work? It's his work. So what's stopping from getting sufficient vehicles for the security agencies? What's stopping from getting sufficient motorbikes for security agencies? Because some of those terrains are hilly. You can't even go there on vehicle. So you need motorcycle. He recently bought 200 motorcycle, which is quite commended. What is 200 motorcycle to the security challenges we have in the plateau? So the government needs to wake up.
So let's talk about that support you just talked about. You just mentioned supporting security operatives. We know that the North Central, which is where we have Plateau State, Benue State, Niger, even the FCT have been taking a hit recently. Some states have been spared. States like Kogi State have not recorded security issues, in this magnitude, but North Central is taking a hit, and we also know that there are porous borders around that area, and all efforts to secure and safeguard our porous borders are proved abortive. So why are we not seeing some level of collaboration with amongst the North Central governors in terms of and tracking the smuggling of light arms and weapons to the North Central region?
Let me assure you, one of the biggest challenges we have is political differences. If our governors come together, they will do more. If you go to what the Benue State governor is doing, And the Kogi State governor, who people have accused of non-performance, you can't take non-performance in terms of security from the Kogi State governor. He's been deliberate about security in his state. And my governor, the governor of Benue State, is doing so much more to improve the security of life and property in Benue State. So if we have governors that are deliberate, like the National State Governor, Kogi and Niger is overwhelmed now. They have come together 1 or 2 times, but I'm not seeing that their effort playing out. They need to be very deliberate. They need to be committed. Look, peace and security go beyond lip service. It goes beyond speaking English. Now, you can't tell somebody who has lost so much vast farmland, a widow and orphan who has farmland that was cut down, or the Fulani header whose cow was innocently killed, to just forgive. It is not practical. It's not going to happen. The government needs to be deliberate. The government needs to pay compensation. The government needs to engage people who know how to do conflict trauma counseling. So these governors need to be deliberate about peace. They don't. It's not enough to give instruction on radio. It's not enough to give directives.
All right.
They need to come together, drop their political differences, and fight for the common good of Nigeria.
Thank you so much. It's quite sad development in Bassa and Riyom. And like you said, we commiserate with all those who lost loved ones and property. Executive Director, Global Peace and Life Rescue Initiative, Melvin Ejeh, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.